Welcome to Cookies Enabled, everyone. I am Will, your host, and today we cover one of the newest and hardest to understand new trends called NFTs. What is an NFT and how do they work? And are they bad for the environment, or is this just all smoke and mirrors? Stay tuned and let's all learn something new together. Now, first, let me say thank you to all the new subscribers and viewers out there. We appreciate and love you all the love and stuff that you've just poured into our channel over the last few days and weeks have been amazing, and we very much appreciate you all. Definitely don't forget to check out our social media posts as well, and stay to the end of the videos because there are blooper cuts at the end just for fun. Now, back to the actual video here. So what is an NFT? It stands for non-fungible token. And if that has already lost you, don't feel bad, you're normal. Now let's break it all down. Non-fungible really means non-replaceable. So the Starry Night painting, for example, is non-fungible because it's also non-replaceable and it has a sole partnership with the museum that holds it. So look at that. Another example would be of a fungible item is a $20 bill. This can easily be broken down into smaller bills and change as needed, which makes it fungible. But the statue of David is non-fungible. Even if David is duplicated, that duplicate is not authentic, which means that the duplicate would be a fungible item, but David remains non-fungible. Hopefully that makes it a little more clear for everybody. Now, token actually means currency, or in some cases, receipt. And that's a really interesting way to look at it. And now it proves not only ownership of an item, but allows that person to sell or trade that item for either real money or cryptocurrency. Now, this also means that NFT or non-fungible token really means non-replaceable currency, or non-replaceable receipt is another way of looking at it. So to understand the token or receipt part of everything and that whole mess of fun stuff, we get to dive into a topic that most nerds just absolutely despise, almost as much as printers, which is the blockchain. Let's just start with an example here to kind of help break things down and not lose everybody. So if I go to my local pantry to buy a pop, a soda, or a Pepsi, depending on where you live in the world, I give my cashier my credit or debit card, and then he, she, them, or they charge it the $3 amount, and that sends a message to my bank as a record, and they verify that I have enough amount, and then they take the $3 from my account, recording that they've taken it, and they send a message to the recipient, which in this case is the family pantry. Now they're not sending it to the pantry's bank would be the recipient in this case, and they're going to get my $3, and their bank is also going to make a notarization on their ledger that they have received $3 from me. So now there's two different ledgers with my name on it, one sending, one receiving, and so on and so forth. And this is all banks do. Banks have been doing this pretty much since the dawn of time, or since abacuses were available, pretty much. Now, the ledger is really what's important here, and that's the best example of a blockchain. Really, the only difference between a ledger, like a bank ledger, is that only one or two people are available to view it. So usually the owner of the bank and maybe the recipient, their account, or in my case, I can look at my bank account, but I can't see my neighbor's bank account next door. But on the blockchain, you can. And that's where things are different. It's a public space and it's a public area and it's open source. So anybody can jump right in and join. So that's what makes it fun and exciting, but it's still kind of dangerous. So all of the blockchain is viewable, but it is not editable. That means that if I buy $3 worth of Pepsi in Bitcoin, instead of it going to my bank ledger, it's going to go to the blockchain's ledger and actually adjust the amount there. It's going to first check and make sure I have enough Bitcoin to buy that Pepsi. And of course I would. So then it's going to take my $3 of Bitcoin, transfer it to whoever, which in this case is the family pantry's Bitcoin exchange, and then they would instantly get that money. all these ledgers and middlemen are cut out. It's just one ledger or one blockchain, and that is it. But millions of computers pretty much have to run just to sustain the blockchain. And that is what we need to know. Okay, so now we understand the basics of the blockchain and we understand what NTFS means. Yowza. Okay, so now how is NTFS really helping artists and painters and musicians make it rich? Stick around and find out. So let's say I have several clay pots and I want to sell them on my website, right? But I'm afraid that people will forge my, clay pots and or replicate them and steal my ideas just because they can be viewed online. So this is where NFTs come in. If I buy NFTs for all of my clay pots, NFTs are all trustworthy and they'll maintain my ownership rights for each of the clay pots, and they're easily transferable, which means selling them isn't going to be a problem. Now, when I buy the NFTs for one of my clay pots, I will have to give a digital signature. And this is used as verification of ownership and becomes part of the blockchain. And this is really where my clay pots would become part of a token in the blockchain. So being part of the blockchain means that millions of computers are keeping track of that NFT, who owns it and how much is it worth, really is what they're keeping track of. And it will forever be tracked on that blockchain pretty much from here on out. So because my beautiful clay pots are now NFTs, they all have unique ownership rights. And these rights include who created it, who last owned it, and who owns it now. So now that we understand all that fun stuff, we can really break down all those millions of computers that support the blockchain and what that means for you and me. Now, most blockchains run on a network known as Ethereum. And Ethereum is a lot like Bitcoin, but it was born in 2013 by programmer Vitalik Buterin. And I'm so sorry if I destroyed that name. And 4 other programmers, so it wasn't just him, but it did go live in 2015, and it gave its users decentralized finance. This allowed for a big selection of financial services available to all the users without brokers, exchanges, banks, and intermediaries, thus allowing cryptocurrency users to borrow against their own holdings without the middleman. So that was a huge, brand new, crazy idea. And Ethereum also gave users the ability to create NFTs and exchange NFTs, and will not be the last in the blockchain NFT train to try that. There is probably going to be several more companies jumping on this very soon, so hold on to your butts, everybody. Now, just like the internet boom in the 90s, all companies are jumping in the game by selling NFTs that are clips from your favorite sports game that came on last night, or maybe a movie clip, an image, or just funny gifs of cats flying through space. And these are honestly just fads, and people are just taking advantage of placing random value on things with literally no value at all. These things are completely made up, and they just start and become NFTs just because somebody says they are. So what does this all mean for our planet? And what happened to all those million computers? I'm going to explain that in just a second. Okay, let's put things in perspective a bit more with these millions of computers. First, these computers are designed to do very basic things. Just some basic math, and pretty slowly at that. They're not trying to go crazy fast. Really, that's all they're doing. They're not doing graphics. They're not servers like Netflix and stuff like that. It's a little different. Second, you need thousands of these computers running day and night to find or generate tokens, and that costs tons of money via electricity. Now, electricity means that someone has to burn fuel and expel CO2 or other bad gases just to make the electricity that you need to sustain that much of a supply, and, consistently all the time. So how much electricity are we talking about? So Ethereum uses 112 terawatts per hour year which is the same as the Netherlands or more than the Philippines and Pakistan use in the same year. So to break it down even more, a single transaction on Ethereum is the same power consumption as an average US household, just over 9 days worth of electricity. So about a week and a half of electricity just for one NFT. So companies like Ethereum buy carbon credits to offset their numbers so that way they can say that they don't pollute as much and that they're becoming greener and healthier for the environment. And in some cases, maybe they are, but in maybe 1%, they actually are. Most companies actually are just buying these credits and they're continuing to pollute the same amount they were before. And they're just buying these credits to show on paper, hey, look, we're doing good. And really, they haven't changed at all. Now, some of that's not Ethereum's fault, but they could try other options like other companies that are shooting for a net zero carbon goal. And Ethereum isn't even attempting this. So this is why NFTs are considered so dangerous, since they only live online in this online ledger, and there's nothing backing up that ledger. So if Ethereum loses power and all those computers go down, there goes the ledger. It's gone. The blockchain has just dissolved. Now, that's extremely rare and it just really probably won't happen, but it could happen. Unlike banks, which use paper copies to all their digital stuff, they lose their computer, they just go pull the file. No big deal. I mean, it takes a lot longer and it's super slow and old school, but hey, I mean, they'll get it done. So for one company to use as much power as an entire country for that year, just for imaginary list of transactions in game in the real world, seems like an enormous risk for people to be jumping on board with when you don't have anybody backing it up. So if you like to gamble, NFTs are the game for you. So should you go buy NFTs and invest in the cryptocurrency? I say no, not yet. Let the rich people play and win and lose a few times, and once the market catches on and the government can federally back the blockchain, then it would be worth the time and money to put into it. But stick with those stocks, bonds, and IRAs for now. Those will be your winning bets for sure. And thanks again for watching and staying to the end of the video. I applaud you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And don't miss our new videos every Monday. And thanks again, everyone, for the new subscribers and views. I very much appreciate you all. And we heart you here at our channel at Cookies Enabled. Now, I know I learned something new today, and I hope you guys did too. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all next time. Probably? Yeah, I think you can. Testing audio. Hi there, everybody. Hello. Okay. Did my game freeze already? Oh, no. No, it's still playing. Oh, that's a good 30-second clip. Let's find out together. Let's learn something new. I screwed that up every time. Oh, God, okay. We have started recording. A non-fungible okay, is an NFT. Is it, oh, goodness sakes, I keep screwing this up. Or Pepsi, depending on what country and version of Americas you're in. I gotta start that whole thing again. Okay. Effective with these millions of computers. Let me try that one more time. So, should you go blah 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 country as the Got it right there. Perfect.